For the past 2 years, we've explored the challenges of addiction and mental health in our Finding Hope series. It's part of a larger effort to reduce stigma and improve access to treatment.
Today, a startling statistic: every day, an average 22 veterans take their own lives. Our Steve Dent shares the story of one Idaho vet who uses yoga to help himself and others cope with the wounds of war.
Mountain pose, rise, reach all the way up, shoulders integrate.
Dan Nevins has an inspirational story. His life changed forever when he was a soldier serving in Iraq.
I was hit by an improvised explosive device on November 10th, 2004, and ultimately lost both legs below my knee. I lived with a traumatic brain injury, and I lost a really good friend, my platoon sergeant, First Class Mike Adelini, who I actually wear this bracelet for every day.
Like many soldiers, Dan didn't seek any help.
Had I went to a doctor, would I have gotten diagnosed with PTSD? Yes. Oh my God, like 10 times over.
Dan had the support of the Wounded Warrior Project. But when he got injured 10 years after the blast, he told me he finally hit rock bottom.
But for the first time in a decade, I finally understood why 22 veterans a day take their own life. And I got so low and spiraling out of control, and I couldn't sleep at night. And then when I would finally get to sleep, I'd wake up with nightmares and then take a handful of Benadryl and chase it down with whiskey and hoping I wouldn't wake up. And then that's when I realized, I'm like, I kind of need some help. Powerful you are.
But the big turning point in Dan's life happened when a friend introduced him to yoga.
And I just remember saying, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. I was so mad, I was like, what do you mean, yoga? Like, this is ridiculous. I was offended at the comment, like literally offended at the comment.
But Dan tried Baptiste Vinyasa Yoga, and it changed his life.
Being still and being connected to my breath and moving my body purposely with intention, with no time to think, the blind spots started to show themselves. And so it wasn't a therapist or a doctor telling me what was wrong and then telling me what to do to fix it. I observed what was wrong, and then I sort of knew what needed to be done to fix it. I'm healed from the invisible wounds of war that used to run every second of my life. And I owe it to this ancient practice.
Now Dan teaches yoga, and he wants to encourage other veterans who are struggling to give it a shot.
And I've never met a single person who hasn't left a yoga class not feeling better than when they walked in the door.
Steve Dent, 6 on your side.